I am giving you a trip to Venice.
Jesus, Mom. It feels like most gay guys just want to be intimate without any actual intimacy.
There's gotta be guys out there that are looking for something meaningful, just like you are.
I've been having a lot of sex with strangers.
It is time for you to move on and start enjoying life and find yourself again.
Venezia, my dear friend, is a living, breathing work of art.
Guys, I'd like you to meet Marco.
We barely know the guy.
He was nothing but kind all day.
There's something off about him.
I want to kiss you so badly.
Let's enjoy the magic waiting.
Is Marco a good kisser?
Actually, we haven't even made out yet.
Steve Balderson described this film as a very sexy romantic story. And he's added the fact it's more romantic than Venice. Is that why you took the part on?
You know, I loved how meaty this role was.
Yes.
Like, you know, there was a lot of sexual elements in it, which I actually was scared of in the beginning.
Really?
That honestly made me, I had never done any sort of, you know, nudity before, any scene that was in that realm at all. So it took some convincing, but it was Steve's script and story and the heart of it that really made me feel that the sex in the movie was needed, that it was necessary, that it wasn't just sex for the sake of having sex, that it was part of that storytelling. And that's what made me really excited to tell this story in such a tender, vulnerable way.
So, Daniel, without giving it all away, in a few lines, can you tell us what the film is about for people that are about to go and see it in the movie theater?
Yeah, I mean, I believe this film is about finding connection again, finding purpose, you know, finding that way to have something deeper with people again. I know that it is such a crazy world right now. You know, there's so much going on. There are so many distractions. Everyone's on their phone. That's how we interact with people. You know, we text instead of call a lot. And what this movie is really about is being present. You know, my character meets this man named Marco, who teaches him to just slow down a little bit, you know? Like my character was having hookups nonstop and was feeling a little bit empty after that because he was, you know, wanting more in his life.
Yeah.
And he meets this character named Marco who just tells him like, "Hey, wait, slow down. Like why are you getting up like you're gonna leave? We can stay and talk and be intimate and cuddle and take things slow." So it's really about, I think, building up that desire and connection and making that meaningful in your life.
Steve Balderson said it was based on a true story, but he didn't say whose. Was it, in fact, someone's true story?
Yes, so it is a true story based on his own
Oh,
life.
really?
So, yes, so this is something that happened to him. He went off to Venice. He met this real man named DeMarco, and that man just, you know, talked a lot and had an answer for everything and almost spoke in poetry and was so excited by life. And it really made a huge impression on Steve at that point in his life. So it was a completely different responsibility as an actor to take on, you know, a role when it's someone's actual experience.
Yeah.
It's loosely based on that. I mean, it's not, you know, exactly the same, but there's a lot of those points that, you know, influenced this story. But luckily, Steve let me kind of take my own version, you know, and make Michael like a tender character that people could relate to.
So Venice is a beautiful place to fall in love with, but it's also a very dramatic place. So you could easily fall out of love as well.
Yeah. Venice, I mean, it's like its own character in the movie too. I mean, it's moody, you know,
Yeah.
it's beautiful, it's wonderful, but it also, you know, it has a lot of rain. The water's rising all the time. You know, life can be a little bit difficult there, just
Yeah.
running errands because of all that. The weather fluctuates. So as beautiful as it is sort of a representation of life itself, because it is this, as gorgeous as it is, there are these ups and downs, and I think that plays a major role in the movie too.
So your love interest in the movie is an actor, I've got to look at his name, Alexander Anasso, who is half Italian, half American or half English, who lives in London. So which half of him did you like, the English bit or the Italian bit?
Well, it's funny because now he actually lives in Barcelona.
Oh, does he?
And yeah, no, he's originally from Rome, I believe, and yeah, I mean, we clicked. I had not met him until our first day of shooting, and it was just we hit it off and bonded through humor. You're going through this crazy journey with somebody, and we really connected and got along so well. But he's a really really fun guy in Barcelona.
You also have worked with someone else I have fallen in love with, and she's the reason I'm going to see the show, not because you're naked. Mink
Ah,
Stoll, the wonderful Mink Stoll.
yeah, she's great. She plays my mother.
Mhm.
And Mink Stoll was just so lovely and fun and generous and kind and just making sure I had what I needed for the scene. And yeah, it was really great. And it
Yeah.
was funny because Mink, on when we were shooting, she pulled me aside and she said, "I read the script and there's a lot of sex in this movie." And I said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, there is." And she said, "Well, are you okay with that?" And I said, because it's meaningful and all of that, then yes. And she goes, I respect you. And I thought the world of her. She was just so kind through the whole process.
I had the pleasure to interview her when she was coming to um, Provincetown, my other home, because for Tennessee Williams, because of course we have John Waters there and they're great buddies.
Yeah.
She was such a joy and unexpected as well, what she was. Daniel, we know you from Broadway and TV. So is this a new love for you, or are you going to go back to Broadway? What do you think? Where does your heart lie?
I've really fallen in love with film.
Hmm.
It is something that I never had access to. I was growing up in Kansas City. If you wanted to be an actor, what do? You do theater, you do local
Hmm.
theater, you do regional theater. And I luckily had supportive parents who, helped me pursue that dream. And I did a lot of professional theater and tours. But now doing film, I've realized that I have such a love for it because of how subtle it is. I love how it captures every single moment. I love how truthful you can be, really drawing from your own, experience, whereas theater is more, presentational. What I love about film is that every moment and every frame in my eyes or my mouth or whatever you're seeing is something that I'm actually experiencing in that moment. And I've really fallen in love with that because I am someone who's always been very sensitive. And I was always so mad about it because I'm like, why do I feel all of this? I don't want to feel all of this all the time. I
Hmm.
want to snap my fingers and move on with life. And I've learned that film is really an outlet to sort of celebrate that more introverted part of
Yeah.
yourself because it's captured.
Yeah. So if any agents are looking, producers are looking, you're up for it. Do you know what's actually next for you?
Gosh, so I did a horror film called Cow. So that is going to be coming out within the next few months. I'm waiting on those details. I'm doing a lot of like soap series. I've done several of those
Are
recently
you?
as well. So
Any we should know?
those are fun. Well, it's funny because there's these new concepts. They're called vertical dramas, and I don't know if you've
Right.
heard of these, but they're huge. They're taking off. They get millions of views and people watch them on their phone. It's shot vertically.
Really?
Swipe up. They're like 2-minute episodes. And I've done really well and built up quite a bit of that work too, which has been fun because it's kind of over the top and different and a good time. So
Can
yeah,
we find that out from your website or from your Facebook page so people
yeah,
can find you? Good, good.
correct. Yeah, and my Instagram is at D Bateman Official.
We'll
And
we'll we'll run it afterwards anyway. Um, but you're one of the people who can truly say that you're no longer in Kansas anymore.
I'm not. No, definitely not. I learned that very quickly.
Yeah. Well, Dorothy was keen to leave as well.
Yeah, yeah. She
Okay.
yeah.
So thanks for talking to us. And should we give a warning that you're naked more often than Patrick Schwarzenegger at the moment?
That I'm more naked? Is that what you
Well,
said?
because evidently he's the hot one at the moment because of
White Lotus, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Well,
yeah, yeah. And
what I will say is like Patrick, well, he does full frontal, I believe, so that's a full thing. Now with me, I'm never full frontal. It's very implied, my butt is in it quite a bit. I mean, there's, a lot
Yeah,
of implied moments and
yeah.
everything, but no,
But I'm hoping we're going to see you. We're going to see this because of a love story and your acting, and not your butt.
well, thank you. Whatever, whatever sells the movie.
I see that. Good to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
Is Marco a good kisser?
Actually, we haven't even made out yet.
My pace might not be what you're used to.
I have to remind you that I don't live here. And I am going back to the US next week.
A city of temptation. In every corner you will find mystery and seduction.
Last night woke me up. My senses, flooded back inside me with this spectacular roar.
Love and sensuality are not only about physical pleasure, it is about understanding the very essence of the other person.
Prepare to embark on a journey of transformation that will forever change the course of your life.